Welcome to Cooking with Dragons. My name is Rourke, and I'm finally making another video, but it's a spice video, as always. And it's probably going to lead up to something bigger. I'm probably going to make like wings or something out of this or something and see where that goes. So today I'm making Hellkite Dust, is what I'm going to call it. I'm basically taking every pepper that I have, at least a few of it anyway, and I'm making a powder out of it. I just got that air fryer there, and air fryers are really good for dehydrating, if you didn't know. So, I'm going to be doing these in batches, and I might finish by probably Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, something like that. But I'm going to be deseeding all of these, and then, yeah. I'm going to start with these jalapenos, these red jalapenos, and then these cayenne peppers. Then I'm going to go on to the Scotch Bonnets, got 2 of those. Got a couple of Murupis, and 4 of these Surname Peppers, Surname. And then I got 3 of the Super Hots. The Scorpion, the Chocolate Carolina Reaper, and the Ghost Pepper. But yeah. Okay, so I misjudged the air fryer. It doesn't actually have a dehydrator setting that I could find. So, I'm just going to go with the oven. That should be fine. So, I got the oven set to 170. And then these should only take a few hours, and then it shouldn't take very long at all. So I'm just gonna put these on my cast iron skillet and then go from there. Okay, so this actually did speed it up quite a bit actually. So now instead of doing in batches, I can just finish off with the super hots after this. So this should only take about 4 to 6 hours. These should take about, like these smaller ones should only take about 4 hours, and then these longer ones should be about 6. So the smaller ones will be done sooner than the bigger ones, is what I'm trying to say. And then after that, it's all I need to do is the super hots, which will be a little bit more challenging because, yeah, basically all you do is kind of hollow them out a little bit, remove the seeds. That way it'll keep it from being too bitter. A few seeds is fine, but for the most part, you just want those seeds out of there. So now it's time to get these into the oven, and then yeah. Alrighty, time for an update. Some of them should be done by now. Alrighty, so it should kind of snap and be kind of brittle. That's how you know when they're done. These ones are done. The Surname Peppers are done, but a few of them still need some time. These are the jalapenos. They'll probably need like another couple hours or so. But this is the Cayenne Peppers. They're pretty much done too. So, looks like the Suriname and the Cayenne Peppers are done. And the rest will just need another hour or so. And then tomorrow it's on to the super hots. So, for now, get these, I'm going to have these rest for a minute while the rest get done. You can hear how they sound flaky. Once they've had time to rest, they'll be a lot more pliable. And they should grind and muddle up pretty nicely. That's what you want, is that nice snap. Oh yeah, I thought that air fryer would work, but it's still a good air fryer, but it didn't have dehydrator setting like I would hope, but that's fine. Alright, so these are the only ones that need some work still. So maybe another hour for these, and then a couple more hours for the jalapenos. That should be good. And we'll let these rest overnight, and then we will get onto the super hots. And here's what we're left with after about 6 hours total. The smaller peppers took about 3 hours, while the medium peppers like the Scotch Bonnet and the Yellow Murupi took a little bit longer, and then the jalapeno, which had the most moisture because it had been frozen so long, took about 6 hours. Now we're just going to let it cool off with this lid slightly off, and then we'll get back to it tomorrow. Alrighty, so like I said, this is where I'm at from last night, and this is where I'm left off. I remembered that I had some dried scorpion pepper for when I made that scorpion cheddar cheese. So I'm gonna be using like half of that to get the one whole pepper. That should be good. So all I really need now is this ghost pepper and that chocolate Carolina Reaper. And I'm not gonna be as brave as I was with the other peppers and handle it barehanded. I'm just going to cut it in half, and then with a fork, I'm going to cut it in half with a fork and knife. Hopefully the fork goes through easily, and just deseed it with a spoon while holding it with a fork, hopefully. As little contact as possible is best for these things. But if you can get nitrile gloves, that's the best way to do it, but yeah. This should only take about 4 to 5 hours, and then yeah. Okay, so there's what I have so far. I'm going to try to get a video of how I did that, so see if this works. Okay, so this is basically if you don't have a pair of gloves. So you're basically just taking a spoon and scooping out the placenta and the seeds. So you just hold it with a fork like so. Kind of work that spoon up. It's relatively easy to work with, usually. If you have a pair of gloves, this is a lot easier, but using a spoon is the best way to do this. But kind of pull it out there. And that's how you do that without gloves. Like I said, the main reason to get rid of the seed isn't really to contain the heat much. It's really just because if you leave the seed in there, it'll be bitter. And so that's basically why I'm deseeding them. And then with the Carolina Reaper, the chocolate, you just kind of do the same thing. Just kind of shovel it in there. Kind of hollow it out like a pumpkin. The most evil pumpkin you'll ever carve. Make sure you're using a cutting board that's specific for these kinds of peppers, because it's incredibly hard to get them out of whatever you're cutting on. Like you need like lemon juice and all that kind of stuff. It's just, yeah. And there's what we're left with on the inside there, after hollowing it out like that. Alrighty, so there's what we got. Like I said, this will take about 4 to 5 hours, so that gives you a perfect excuse to do some household chores, like, do some laundry, and maybe some other activities, like maybe watch anime or something like that. But yeah, that brings me to a good question. What are you watching? Just for engagement. But yeah, and I saved the seeds and the pulp from all the other peppers, so I'm gonna do that with these too, so that way nothing goes to waste. And I could probably make like chili flakes out of these, something like that. So I got Hellkite Dust and I got Hellkite Scales, I guess you could call them. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we got just a little bit longer on those other peppers. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and grind these up using this pestle and mortar. It's a tiny one. Pretty cool. And then for that first batch, I'm gonna be using regular paprika. And then once I get to the super hots, I'm gonna finish it off with smoked paprika. About a half tablespoon of each, because I really like paprika. This should give us some aromatic and some smokiness. So I'm just gonna start with a little bit at a time, and I'm gonna be re-adding it to that spice jar. And the spice jar is already pretty fragrant thanks to them being in there overnight. So yeah. Alrighty, so this is a brand new pestle and mortar, so I'm just gonna gently start there and there, and just oh yeah, good old pestle and mortar, can't beat it. And that's about the consistency you want on it. Just pick out any seeds as you find them. Like I said, a few seeds won't really hurt it, but yeah. Alrighty, so here's where we're at. Got that powder in there. I'm gonna have to give it I'm gonna have to find a smaller jar for it, because I'm not gonna get a whole lot out of that. Looks like, but I'll get a good bit out of it either way. But still. And there's the pepper flakes, which I will also have to find another jar for. So that way that way they're a little bit more tight together, kind of. But yeah, I finished that off with some of that dragon's breath. Those are chili flakes as well. Those are meant for a grinder, but I decided to save a little bit and just get the grinder refill. That's a little bit cheaper, I thought. But yeah. So this whole thing started because I thought I could dehydrate these in the air fryer, but it turns out they don't have a dehydrator setting. So it's important to leave room for failure. That's a Mythbuster quote, if you didn't know. But yeah. So far it's coming out pretty good, I think, though, either way. And then I think doing it in the oven will give it a little bit more flavor in the end anyway, so there's that. But yeah. So far, so good. Alrighty, so here's where we're finally at. Let them cool off a little bit. And then yeah. Now I just gotta grind them up and add them to this jar, and then we'll be done. Alrighty. Just one last thing to finish it off, and we'll be done. Here's what we got. Hellkite Dust at its finest. It smells very good and also very potent. Alrighty, so half tablespoon of paprika. Of smoked paprika, rather. This should round it out pretty nicely, I think. plus whatever fell in here, because I'm not going to waste anything. And here we have Hellkite Dust, which I kind of inspired from a Magic the Gathering creature, but you know. I don't have any tequilas, but otherwise, you know, this would be good for a tequila shot or something, I think. Just leave that in there. That's cool. I'm thinking as I go with this one, but you know, best way to try out an ingredient that you have, like a spice, is just to try it as it is and just see how it goes, and then, yeah. Alrighty, let's see how it is. Oh, nice. Before you bite into that lime, it's actually nice and smoky. Then you get that nice smoky heat. It's not as overpowering as I thought it would be. Although it does kind of build up a little bit. But that works. Alright. Hellkite Dust. Check it out. Although I don't know how many people can make that, because this had like, I think 10 different peppers in it, but yeah. Alright. Thank you for watching. My name is Rourke from Cooking with Dragons. We are exploring the world of foods. You guys have to keep on feeding the fire.